the Editorial Director for Design World, and welcome to the Design World Editorial Roundtable. Today I've got Miles Budimir, Leslie Langnow, and Natasha Townsend with me. We're all going to chat a little bit about what's going on in our respective areas that we cover for our different engineering beats. I'll start off talking a little bit about the world of fluid power. In fluid power, we had a big show just a few weeks back, which was Mine Expo out in Las Vegas. And this is one of those shows that you're completely overwhelmed with. The equipment's so huge, there's 100,000 people there. It's something that happens only every 4 years, so it's very much, people really look forward to the show. Chevron made a big announcement at the show about three new premium hydraulic oils: the Clarity Synthetic Hydraulic Oil AW, the Rando HDZ, and the Rando HD Premium Oil MV. These hydraulic oils offer either multi-viscosity or high viscosity indexes that deliver some real fuel cost savings when you compare them to the conventional monogrades that you see a lot in hydraulic fluids. There's also some really robust protection for hydraulic pumps that you'll see with using these fluids. Another release of note from the show came from Bosch Rexroth, which you may remember about 3-4 years ago, purchased Hägglunds, a big motor manufacturer. They make those enormous hydraulic motors. Bosch has really been working at kind of taking Hägglunds and really incorporating it into the company, and they finally, they're replacing their tried and true Marathon motor series. They're replacing them with the new Hägglunds CBM. This thing packs 50% more torque into a much smaller package, can be as much as 50% lighter. So you think about some of the industries these are used in mining, in wind turbines, in material handling. You've got that kind of weight savings and higher efficiency. You can start to do some really creative things with your design. So I know a lot of engineers out there are excited about that. On the pneumatic side, two quick things. Vacon Company introduced some new pink colored pumps just in time for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, believe it or not, which is October. The company is offering its customers a special pink color on the J-Series cylindrical Venturi pumps, and then, real nice thing, they're donating 10% of the sales of that to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. So something you don't often run into in industrial product circles, but I thought it was kind of unique. And then lastly, Additive Manufacturing Company, we got a little sample right here. They announced a series of product enhancements to their very popular non-repairable original line product series. The changes include design modifications, whereas from the catalog they used to quote 1,400 miles. In other words, how many strokes, and you build it up. Now it's over 3,000 miles. So it's a lot of stroking, folks, and can use their cylinders for that. Speaking of which, let's turn over to Miles with motion control.
Okay, so in the motion control world, one of those prominent things that came across the wire last week was this news about Siemens. Siemens recently acquired a French company called Cam, who specializes in motion and path planning software. From Siemens' point of view, this is meant to kind of broaden their PLM, product lifecycle management product line. Cam already had worked with Siemens before on some of their other PLM software product lines. What it does, primarily what the software does, is it optimizes robotic movements and path planning, which is something that Siemens felt that they maybe were kind of lacking in, or they kind of needed to beef this up. It's an interesting pattern for Siemens too. Over the past 5 years or so, they've also picked up quite a number of software companies that working in various PLM software kind of pieces, I guess. So this is just the latest acquisition in this trend. Looks like what they're doing is really kind of trying to remain competitive with some of the other big motion control companies out there. Rockwell, for one. Rockwell has a motion analyzer software package for their kinetics motion control system. So it seems like they're just kind of trying to basically, I don't want to say keep up maybe, but trying to still maybe gain some of the market share in that motion control market by adding functions and capabilities for end users. So
very interesting. Thanks, Miles. Leslie, what about additive manufacturing? I'm sure there's always something going on there. Tell us what's new in your world.
There's been a couple of key developments going on in this world. One of them is the National Additive Manufacturing Innovation Institute, which is a program started by the government, and it is now located in Youngstown, Ohio. This is intended to be one of the first hubs to propel American industry to new heights. There's a consortium of more than 60 private companies, including Stratasys and 3D Systems, and other organizations who have come together to help further develop what is known as additive manufacturing. Now, about $30 million of the funding will be coming from the government, particularly the U.S. Department of Defense and the U.S. Department of Energy, and other companies will be providing the majority of it. I don't know if I mentioned that Stratasys and 3D System are two of the key additive manufacturing companies who will be involved in this venture. If this goes, there's plans for 15 additional hubs to be created throughout the United States, and the hope is that this will bring manufacturing back to the United States and actually spur on new manufacturing developments. The other thing that's going on is digital rights initiative going on right now. 3D additive manufacturing systems have kind of been a combination of open source and private. In the open source world, somebody by the name of Nathan Mervold of Intellectual Ventures has taken out a patent that's kind of called Manufacturing Control System, and basically what it does is it will restrict your ability to download CAD files on the internet and use them to make whatever it is that you want to make. You will essentially need a license, kind of like what you need for music or for videos or for books. It will check, you will load a file into your CAD program or into your 3D printer, and then your 3D printer will check to see if this is a file that you can download. It'll check the material, it'll check how many copies you can make of this. Now, right now there's some details that are not quite well defined, such as, is this something that 3D printer manufacturers, the professional ones, are going to use or not? They have that option. This patent is available for companies who want to restrict whether or not just anybody can download these programs. So there's a lot of debate going on in this field right now as to whether this is a good idea, is this going to inhibit intellectual property?
They always have to have a lot of buy-in too for it to succeed.
And it may or may not happen, but it's certainly all the buzz right now going on. And then the other big thing that happened in the field was 3D Systems bought Rapidform for $35 million in cash. Now, Rapidform has a unique kind of a program that combines scan data processing, mesh optimization, auto surfacing, and CAD modeling into one integrated tool. So essentially what's happened for 3D Systems is they can offer just about anything you might need as far as a 3D printing service, from the printer itself, to the materials, to having a service bureau, to now the scanning equipment and the software. So they've become kind of a full service organization.
Nice. And going back to the hub, nice thing for Youngstown. It's
Absolutely.
certainly a very
Ohio.
depressed area.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't familiar, Youngstown's about halfway between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. It's certainly in a very
Former steel town.
very manufacturing heavy part of the country. So and presumably space there is pretty inexpensive right about now. So it sounds like a good spot for a first hub.
It's a great thing for them. Yeah. And they figured it'll add, I think, quite a number of jobs into the manufacturing field.
Very nice.
It's a very cool development.
Thanks, Leslie. Natasha, well, let's talk a little bit double E. You've got some kind of a product there or a test. What are we looking at?
Well, this is actually a silver box.
It's a silver box?
It's a silver box. Today, I'm going to be showing TDK Lambda's power supply, which is a SWS 1000L12. It's a 12-volt power supply, and courtesy of Mel Bergman from TDK Lambda, I'm going to show you what this product does.
Very cool.
Well, you just plug it in, and I have a digital multimeter here, and with the potentiometer I can adjust the voltage that goes into the power supply. From this one is going to go to about 15 volts, and it can go all the way down to about 3 volts. And the voltage adjust, there is a voltage adjust on the back, which allows me to go higher or lower with my potentiometer, depending on how much input and output that I will need. Some of the experiments that I will be conducting here will be used with this power supply hopefully with an oscilloscope, and you can see how things can be modified and adjusted with the voltage changing up and down. Thanks, Mel from TDK Lambda, for supplying Design World with this great power supply source.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this editorial roundtable from Design World, and I hope that you're all members of the Engineering Exchange, which is our great Facebook for engineers, as I call it. That's at www.engineeringexchange.com. And as always, you can go to designworldonline.com for all the latest engineering news and product updates. Thanks for watching.